Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg with Cloudcast Media. You're going to be listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast in our 20th year. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things for people living in San Diego County, whether it's food insecurity, it's Alzheimer's, it's homeless, arts, financial literacy. It's a big cause. They are there shoulder to shoulder with it. Love to have these guys in the house from Olivewood Gardens. Ellyse Briand, she's the Events and Culinary Program Manager. How you doing, Ellyse? Good?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm always good, and we've been having you folks on, for a long time. In our studio when it was in the Union Tribune many moons ago, and joined by your colleague Selina Pino. She's the Vice President of Operations for Masienda. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Happy to be here.
Great. I'm honored to have as my co-host. He's the senior producer at Cloudcast Media. He's been doing the Spotlight Show for quite a while. Just back from a 5-month sojourn to China. And it's the inimitable Brandon Joe. How you doing, Brandon?
Doing good. How are you, Drew?
Good. Why don't you get us started?
So as we always start in Spotlight the Community, I'd just like to ask a little bit more about your organization's missions. So if you'd like to start, Ellyse.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are Olivewood Gardens and Learning Center. We are located in National City. Our mission is to nourish communities and cultivate a deep connection to the environment through nutrition education, sustainable urban agriculture, collective advocacy, and intergenerational leadership.
You've been involved for how long?
I've been there for about 6 years now.
6 years now? Okay. And I know our good friend, our frequent guest, just retired. And you know I'm talking about Dr. Leangela Brady from National School District. Yes. Talk about that relationship with National.
Absolutely. We've been cultivating that relationship for about 15 years, which is about how long Olivewood has been serving the community. And we really appreciate National School District. We have programs in their schools. Every 4th grade class comes to Olivewood 3 times during the year to get nutrition education and environmental education. We actually just we're honored with the CSBA Golden Bell Award, recognizing the innovation and long-standing partnership between our organizations, which was highlighting climate education as well as like student wellness. So that was a huge deal for us and National School District.
Yeah. So Selina, talk about the relationship about your organization and with Olivewood Gardens and the school district.
Yeah, of course. So my company, Masienda, we are a Mexican natural foods company. We mostly specialize in heirloom corn from smallholder farmers in Mexico, organic corn tortillas, organic masa harina, basically nourishing, healthy Mexican food. My relationship with Olivewood goes back to 2012 when I was an intern at Olivewoods after college. I led some of the culinary cooking classes, made a cauliflower ceviche that has been in the Olivewood programming for almost 15 years. And so Masienda just really is aligned with the mission of Olivewood of creating nourishing cuisine for our communities.
So when you were growing up, when did you get the bug to develop very cool culinary recipes? Were you 5? Were you 7? Did you have your Betty Crocker bake set? I'm not sure what I'm even talking about, even though I have a daughter that probably had one of those in that aspect. What got you interested in this?
You know, I was my mom's sidekick in the kitchen. I grew up in the South Bay, so right down the street from Olivewood Gardens, and that was kind of how we spent time together. We always had lots of animals. We had a garden. I learned how to make quesadillas on the stovetop when I was 5. It's like the common first thing anyone knows how to make. And I've always been interested in making authentic food that is tasty, but also healthy. So when I was at Olivewood, I think cauliflower must have been a theme.
I was just going to say, okay.
Everyone.
Do you like cauliflower?
I do like cauliflower.
Okay.
I think it can become anything you want it to be. It's become very trendy in the past decade.
Really?
Yeah, roasted cauliflower, delicious.
Okay, and is it because of the nutrients in it? Is it the vitamins in it? I'm pretending I know what I'm talking about. I forgot that. I'm the son of a doctor, and none of that rubbed off on me, for God's sake.
I think cauliflower has kind of come to replace potatoes in a sense. So one of my first recipes was tacos dorados with cauliflower. Typically, you can use potatoes as like a potato taco stuffing. So I was like, let's try cauliflower with this one. It's delicious. It works great. People who are doing low-carb diets do cauliflower rice, cauliflower mash. So it's just very versatile. Yes, it has vitamins and nutrients. Couldn't tell you either what those were. But it is
probably healthy.
Probably healthy. At the time, my internship was during the winter, and so cauliflower was very plentiful at Olivewood. And so when they gave me a list of ingredients I could choose from, it was an easy pick.
Now, do you like cauliflower?
Oh, I'm a huge fan.
Are you really?
The big problem is I don't really know the name of a lot of good recipes and stuff like that. So I'm curious, especially we're in San Diego. We eat Mexican food all the time. Unfortunately, that Mexican food is usually tacos and burritos, which are, enchiladas or all these things that usually come with a lot of grease and sauce. And so I'm curious on the healthier side of the Mexican cuisine, which we don't see very often, what are some of the names of the things that we could be looking into?
I mean, anything truly can be made healthier Mexican. When you're cooking at home, like everything is made from scratch. You can make a salsa with some roasted vegetables, throw it in a blender, molcajete, and it's delicious. You don't need all the added grease or fat. So what Olivewood does a lot is train a group of folks called the Kitchenistas to use fresh, healthy ingredients to make Mexican food, because anything truly is adaptable. And Mexican food in general is actually quite vegetarian. It's not super meat heavy.
I would have to imagine, because everything that comes through the pipeline of another country to America just becomes all sorts of stuff, whether it's anything to preservatives or added sugars, or whether it's, any of the other tactics to make it just that much tastier. But it's always good to look into some of these cuisines and find out how we could eat this more sustainably. Because I probably can't go to Tacos El Gordo every single day. It's probably not a good idea.
Wouldn't we love to?
Yeah. Well, listen, and I know Ellyse, you can chat about this and add to it as well, Selina. We know we have a obesity crisis in this country, and we're no different in San Diego County. And of course, you folks work very hard to try to reduce that, obviously, and a lot of it does follow socioeconomic lines. We all know that. That's nothing new and exciting. Do you bring that up a lot, Ellyse, when you guys are talking to the different audiences about, again, obviously eating healthier and growing healthier?
Yeah, I think that in the South Bay, it's easy to say that there is a lot of fast food. There's a lot of convenience foods. And so I think what Olivewood does well is I think people have a picture of maybe what Mexican food is, but traditionally it is healthy, and bringing that conversation back, but also making sure that people know that you can add vegetables. You don't have to always take away something. You can add to your diet, so you can add more produce and vegetables. But one way that we advocate is, being able to grow in your backyard, anything small pots, small gardens, just adding fresh food. We have a produce stand at Olivewood Gardens. That's a pay what you can. So it's donation based, so the community can come and get fresh veggies from us. I just think that advocating for adding vegetables to your food and like knowing where your food comes from, knowing your farmer, trying to just
And we talk about that quite a bit, Ellyse. We have a lot of the small farms come in, and we know that the small farms grow very healthy food on that, and that's not to knock the Vons and the Albertsons, not that point. It's just a different animal on this, and it's never too late to start to eat healthy. I know you guys knew this. It's in your DNA, because if we don't, we're going to be hitting a health crisis that's going to collapse our health system. If we continue on this obesity aspect of it, it turns into diabetes and that aspect of it. So really encourage people to take a close look at Olivewood Gardens. As we go back from break, I want to talk about September 19th, a big shindig that's going to be coming up with Olivewood Gardens that Selina is going to be involved in. And we always save time in the second half of the interview. What can our listeners do to support Olivewood Gardens? Volunteer, donate, whatever the case may be, bring in recipes and so forth. And the same with you, Selina, what can we do to support your organization? When we return after this very short break.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast in our 20th year. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, more than 6 decades. It's doing phenomenal things for people living in San Diego County. Such a pleasure to have back in the studio with us today our friends from Olivewood Gardens. We have Ellyse Briand. She's the Events and Culinary Program Manager, joined by her colleague who did an internship in 2012, if I'm not mistaken, on that, Selina Pino. She's Vice President of Operations for Masienda, and joined by my colleague, Brandon Joe. He's the Senior Producer at Cloudcast Media, with shows such as Spotlight on the Community. And Brandon, you have another question or point you want to make regarding September 19 as part of Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yeah, I heard there's a little event going on over there. We can do maybe a little bit of cooking. Tell me a little bit more.
Yeah, I was thrilled that Olivewood invited me to host a cooking lesson September 19th at 3:30 p.m. This will be celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month at Olivewood. I am kind of combining my love for cooking with my current role at Masienda, so we will be making a vegetarian pozole. I know a lot of people know pozole through buying a can of hominy at the grocery store, putting it in a soup, but during this class, we're going to actually do the whole process of nixtamalization. So nixtamalization is the process of steeping corn in an alkaline solution, in this case calcium hydroxide. Back in the day, our ancestors used to use wood ash to do it. So this will actually break down the skins of the corn, making the corn more nutritious, give it that nice chew that we love about pozole. And, you know, I like to introduce it as the first step to nixtamalization because that is what makes corn tortillas the special thing that we love.
So if people Googled nixtamalization, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, my apologies, what would they find? This whole process of how to do this?
This whole process. There are Wikipedia pages. There are scientific articles. My boss, Jorge Gaviria, wrote a book called Masa, which is a very nerdy deep dive into the process of nixtamalization. But it's nothing new. It's been done for thousands of years, and it is the backbone of Mexican cuisine.
And can it be used with all types of foods or just certain types?
There are some chefs who nixtamalize different ingredients because it does impart a certain flavor, but usually the backbone is just corn.
Got it. Brandon?
Help me pronounce it first. Ask anything.
Nixtamalization.
Nixtamalization.
Just like it sounds, actually.
Yeah. So the base.
How did the ancient process work? I'm curious. I'm really curious. Are you familiar?
I mean, I wasn't there, so I can't give you a
Or
historically accurate.
Oh, well, I would expect a little time machine. You go back right now, come back with our. It's okay. No worries.
I believe, they had cooking vessels, pots that they would fill with water to cook the corn. But, corn is a whole other deep dive I could go into. It started as a small grain called teocintle, and it was bred by humans to create corn as we know it today. But I imagine it could have been a happy accident that they discovered that cooking the corn with wood ash makes it more digestible.
Just like inside of the pot, like actually cooking it with the ash.
Yeah, like you're gonna boil pasta water, but you put some ash in there too, and it helps
that is so interesting.
break down the skin of the corn. So I like to think of it as imagine polenta. It's mushy. It's delicious, but it doesn't quite stick together. But imagine like masa harina or dough for tamales. That sticks together on its own. And so that's the difference. Like the process of nixtamalization brings out that natural gelatin in the corn.
Brandon, I think what we should do, we should make a requisite that any of our guests that talk about food, they need to bring in the food.
Approved.
Yeah, in that aspect of it.
I don't think Mission Fed would like that very much.
Yeah, I don't think so.
They don't allow us to bring our bacon in here.
Yeah, we can figure that out. Ellyse, do you have a favorite type of food you like to make?
I actually love all food, which is why I love working at Olivewood. Whatever's fresh and seasonal in the moment is probably my favorite. I mean, the thing that I've been like really into lately is like making chili oils and sauces. I just think it's delicious. I think like you can, like every culture sort of has their own. So like there's, different Asian flavors. There's like Mexican has, why can't I think of
Salsa
it?
matcha.
Salsa matcha, which I have been really into. So just playing around with different flavors, and then you can put it on anything. I think one of the things that Olivewood does well is we are a mostly plant-based kitchen, and so experimenting with different foods and different flavors using plants, I think is great.
Yeah, so the kids who are the real beneficiary were the kids, their families, their parents, their cousins, their aunts, the whole National City community, quite obviously, in this aspect of it. But how many are the ones who go through Olivewood Gardens, just like Selina did, actually come back and do work with them collaboratively, or actually work at Olivewood Gardens?
Yeah, that's actually a great question, because yesterday we just graduated our, I think it was 600th Kitchenista, possibly more. So that's exciting. And then Kitchenistas are advocates in the community. They go out and teach about what they've learned at Olivewood, healthy cooking, growing your own food. And so I would say like half of our staff right now are Kitchenistas that have come back. And then like none of our programs could run without the Kitchenista community and volunteer community that we cultivate. And so I think that there are so many people, but there are also so many people that come and say, I've never been to Olivewood and I've lived in the South Bay for this many years. So true. So it's a really special place. It's a magical place. It's beautiful, but we're also advocating for growing your own food and eating well, and advocating for. So
Brandon, I think I know you have a question here, but before that, I think we need to do a spotlight remote from Olivewood Gardens. What do you think?
That's a great idea.
Can I eat?
You can eat.
We'll feed you.
Yeah, I can't eat because it's not polite to eat while you're talking. So, but let's plan on doing that. What do you think?
Oh, it'd be awesome.
Would you have us?
Absolutely. That would be amazing. We would love to have you at the gardens.
We will do that, and then we'll set it up. You guys can choose who. We'll have a kitchenista that would be on the show. Obviously, all the folks you have, maybe some of the kids that would be going through. So we'll set something up on a Friday, maybe after the first of the year, and we'll come out and visit you folks on it. Brandon, you had a question.
Where can we find these Kitchenistas? You have 600 of them in the community, and I haven't seen a single one of them. I must not be in the right places. So tell me a little bit more.
Yeah, so they actually go out into all of the National School District elementary schools and talk to the parents. So
I probably shouldn't be there.
Yeah. Well, if you don't have a kid, you might not be there. But they do a lot of community events, but they do these parent presentations where the kids have historically come home and said, we got to do this cool thing at Olivewood, this lovely taco we made had these certain ingredients in it, and then they come home with a recipe, but then when the Kitchenistas go into the schools, they talk about in more detail what the kids are doing and what the parents can do to support the kids in these recipes that they're making at Olivewood and some of the things they're learning. And so it's a really great partnership there. They also go out into all sorts of like community events.
I'm curious, in the case that, as I have a couple of friends whose parents are not the best chef, what should a kid do in this situation? Because I've had kids, they survive off of pasta and whatever they can scrap around in the house because their parents just don't know what to buy for groceries, and they can't go out themselves because they don't really have the money themselves. I guess they had some strange situations I've heard in the past. So in situations like this where the parents not the best cook in the world, what do we do when we look at something like that?
Well, I would say they could come to Olivewood Gardens and Learning Center and take a class with us. But I think that's definitely a hard issue. I think a lot would be we work with a organization called Brightside Produce, which puts fresh food into corner markets and things. So the kids maybe can walk to a store and get something more fresh. A lot of places in San Diego, National City, aren't walkable to get fresh food. And so just trying to figure out where they can access that fresh food. And so that is one of the programs we work with. Otherwise, I think that healthy is a fun term, but we healthy can also be canned food. You can eating healthy isn't always necessarily. Eating healthy is getting the right nutrition for your body, but that can look at all sorts of different ways. And so if a kid is fed and can have food in their home that is going to excite them, if they're starting to cook, if they're just trying something out, I think any food is okay if they are learning. And then hopefully the parent can find places like Olivewood and other things to support their learning journey.
Yes, Selina?
Just wanted to throw out frozen vegetables are actually great.
Really?
Oh, good to know.
They are frozen right after harvest, so it usually maintains the most nutrients possible.
So when you go into any supermarket, okay, even the big supermarkets, and you get, because I love frozen corn, by the way. It does taste good, I must admit.
It tastes good. It has the nutrients. It has the flavor. If you're making a pasta, you can get some frozen broccoli, dump it in there before you put the sauce in, and hey, you added a vegetable to your meal.
I feel much, much better now because I love the small sweet corns, and it's good. Now they're healthy for me. I'll have a ton more. We're chatting with Selina Pino. She is the Vice President of Operations for Masienda. Was an intern at Olivewood Gardens in 2012, joined by her colleague Ellyse Briand, Events and Culinary Program Manager for Olivewood Gardens. What can we do? We'll start with you on this, Ellyse, our listeners, to support what you're doing.
Yeah, great question. Thanks for asking. We are a community-based organization, so we're always looking for funding to run our programs. So a great way to support us is by becoming a Roots for Health donor. That's a monthly giving program. We love when people do that, but you can also support us by volunteering at the garden. People work in the gardens with our gardeners. You can support our culinary or kitchen programs as a volunteer. so many different ways to come to Olivewood. You can go through some of our programs. Cooking for Salud is the program that creates the Kitchenistas. Once you graduate, you're a Kitchenista, so that's a free program. It does have a wait list, so a lot of people are interested, but if you want to get on the wait list and go through our programs. But yeah, I think funding to run our programs is the biggest thing we need, because a lot of our programming is free for the community.
How about volunteers?
Yeah, we absolutely need volunteers all the time. Our volunteers, like I said earlier, we can't run our programs without our volunteers. They're the heartbeat of Olivewood. So if you like gardening, if you like cooking, if you like kids, if you like to be in
Who doesn't
community,
like all of those, for God's sake?
right? If you like to be in community, come to Olivewood Gardens.
And what's the website?
Olivewoodgardens.org.
Very, very good. And Selina, what can we do to support you and what you're doing at your company?
We sell our products, mostly masa harina, tortillas and quesadillas at Whole Foods and Sprouts. We also sell online at masienda.com. But if that's not within your budget, or you have your favorite masa brand or local tortilleria, follow us on social media. We have a lot of healthy, fresh recipes from scratch. I'd also say the team at Olivewood sends a great rundown of all their events via newsletter. So if you're interested in joining, sign up for their newsletter, and they'll tell you when to go there.
Right, and especially on September the 19th, okay, you'll get to meet Selina. She'll show you this cool thing she's going to be doing. You'll have a lesson in this aspect of it. What time is that again?
3:30 p.m.
And it's going to be at Olivewood Gardens, right? What's the address?
2525 N Avenue.
Very good. Well, listen, we love having you folks on. With the great work you do with the National School District, of course, with the community at large, and having fun and doing it in a healthy way is always a good thing. We know this will not be the last time you folks are going to be on to talk about more cool things you're doing. So we appreciate you joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much for having us. This was fun.
Well, my pleasure. Ellyse Briand, she is the Events and Culinary Program Manager for Olivewood Gardens, joined by her colleague Selina Pino, Vice President of Operations for Masienda. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. Been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast in our 20th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. To our audience, we hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.